companies that can scale up and kind of like get ahead of the curve and create that next super cool thing, or just are like consistently cutting edge and do cool things, typically have one or a few leaders that, like, if the far right again was visionary and then over here is pragmatist, they're way over on the visionary side. They can see things that other people can't see. They can just kind of like, it's like, I might be showing you the microphone, but actually I'm thinking about what's inside of the microphone. And I'm thinking about how I get all the elements of the microphone and how we could build a better microphone.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Someone who's super visionary can think of those things, but they can't always do the things.
Yeah.
And that's why they need pragmatists. So like someone who's in the middle would be someone who's like a really strong visionary and equally pragmatic. They could actually do the things to make the thing happen.
Yeah.
People who are ultra visionary, they can totally see it, like someone like Steve Jobs, but they couldn't actually build the things or make the things happen.
Yeah.
The further along the visionary scale people get, the more impatient they get, the harder they are to deal with. They tend to be difficult to deal with, not because they're good or bad people, but because they're so far ahead of the conversation and they're like so into the like, well, no, why don't you get what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And so they have to surround themselves with more and more and more pragmatists.
Yeah.
I view myself as someone who's like, I'm not like visionary on that level, but like when you're talking about, you can get this idea and see it all these different levels, but you can also get impatient. The way my team would describe it is I'm usually like, I'm striving to be like 4 feet off the ground or 4 miles off the ground, but they're trying to keep me 4 inches off the ground. They know I need to be off the ground, but they have to hold me down so they can make things actually happen. Yeah. Otherwise I would just like drift off with all the ideas.
Yeah, I see that. I think the thing that I struggle with is that, oh, hold on. That's not the right word. I don't struggle. That's not cool. It's the thing I'm blessed with. It's actually the other way around. It's not struggle. It's blessed. Is that, I grew up doing art. Again, whether I was good at it or not is not the point. I know like how long it takes paint to dry. I know what like a Sharpie versus Krylon versus airbrush versus spray paint. I went to college for graphic design and fashion merchandising and things of that nature. So I to this day know Photoshop inside and out, Illustrator inside and out, InDesign inside and out, Final Cut Pro, Premiere. I can edit, I can like do all that stuff, and I can sit down and do board graphics and drop shadows, you name it. And I know how to draw. And as I get older, I just find more time and more patience with how to do these things. So to a certain degree, I enjoy these things that I was able to learn over these years, from all the way of being a little street kid that used, Sharpies and paint pens, to being, graphic design in college, then having the opportunity to be able to walk through my office and like have people that were better at me than all those things teach me and show me the ways. So what ends up happening that is a good thing most of the time is, especially that I've downsized my life, is that I can like think of an idea and actually from top to bottom execute it with my own 2 hands. And that is a really amazing feeling now that I took for granted for a really long time, because I was surrounded by so many people and I had such great designers and accountants and lawyers and all these things. But what's crazy is that as you get educated through that process, plus you have the foundation of already knowing how to do a lot of it, it's almost like I went to the school of Harvard of business. And I kind of like finally was able to check myself. And my wife, I have to give her a lot of credit for this, because she was like, you know how to do all that. Why do you have all these other people doing that? You actually know how to do that. You aren't just a delegator. Like, you actually know how to, I always say, a hand on the mouse.